So let's leave this place because you're probably sick of seeing it. The Gumps. The Gumps were from the movie Return to Oz, and they're also from the second Oz book. They're basically two sofas tied together with an elk head on the front, with palm fronds for wings. And one of my, I'm still very proud of the transportation system that I came up with for this game, using Gumps as taxis. I'm very proud of that. One thing, it's funny, I'm noticing when I'm playing this game, that if you see here, there's this text that appears on the screen with no voiceover. And I didn't realize this until several months ago when I started watching Let's Plays of this game. When we first were voicing the game, we decided all the descriptive text would not be voiced, just to save money and time. And so we added a text box. There was actually supposed to be a very ornate box that frames the text. That was always there during all the test builds and on my version of the game that I had back when we were making it. But for some reason, when we released the game, it completely disappeared. And a lot of people were confused. They're like, yeah, how come all the descriptive text isn't voiced? And I'm like, well, duh, it's a text box. But I didn't realize that that the text was just hanging there in midair without the box behind it. And I don't know how that happened, guys, really. We didn't design it that way. I don't know how that happened, but apparently it did. It's kind of 2 years too late to fix it, but, you know, there it is. So sorry, guys. So let's take the Gump stand. Sorry, I'm smacking my lips. It's talking's very thirsty work. So here we got the map. The backgrounds here were designed by a guy named John Green, or rather completely designed and drawn and painted by John Green. He's a comic book artist. I met him in New York several years ago, and he has a comic book with a character that looks exactly like Rosa Blackwell from the Blackwell series. So we had a laugh over that, and whenever I have the money to spend on art, I always hire him first. For my little internal projects like Blackwell, I could never afford him, but for Emerald City, since I had a budget, he was the first one I called. Let's talk to TikTok. TikTok is from the books, and he's also from the movie Return to Oz.
I have that. I'm looking for. He was last reported coming through this gate.
I'm going to skip through this dialogue. An interesting thing about this dialogue is that it's very long. And Playfirst insisted on keeping dialogue short, but they also insisted that the average player, the average casual player, would not like these. They do not like these dialogue windows. They hated them. They just did not like going to them. And so Playfirst insisted that all the information you need to progress should be presented to the player during the first conversation you have with the character. Which unfortunately meant that there was a huge info dump when you first spoke to a character. So I'm not sure that we succeeded in doing that correctly. They decided to do that after we had recorded all of the VO. So there was very little flexibility in how we could edit the dialogue down. Once the VO was recorded, it is set in stone. So it's a shame, but that was it.
Only doing my duty.
So we just learned that Ansel went to see Betsy Bobbins. So let's go see her. Wait a minute. Oh, right. I have to give him the picture. I'm forgetting how to play my own game, guys. It's been 2 years.
This is a photograph of Ansel. Do you recognize him?
Affirmative. He did not use the name Ansel when he entered the city. He will have to report back to me and tell the truth in order to avoid prosecution. His destination was registered as 43 Granetta Lane, Emerald City.
Thanks.
Granetta Lane is a reference to Minetta Lane here in my neighborhood of New York. It's home to my favorite bar, the Minetta. Funny thing about the VO, we split the VO between New York and San Francisco. And the woman playing Petra, the funny thing about her is that when you present a VO reel, you give your name at the beginning, like, hi, my name is so-and-so. And the way she said her name was, hi, I'm Rebecca Schweitzer. And she said it in that very 40s Katharine Hepburn kind of way. And I didn't even have to listen to the rest of it. I just loved the way she said her name. And I'm like, yep, that's Petra. And when she came to record, I was like, just read the character like you read your name. That was perfect. So that's how she got the part. And yeah, we split it between New York and San Francisco. So any character that had more than 100 lines, we used the union actors in a big audio house in San Francisco. And the rest, I used my own local actors here in New York. So let's go speak to Betsy.
Granetta Lane is one of the...
And Hank here, let me speed Petra up. She's moving a little slow. It's the default walk speed. It also might be because of the Fraps system that I'm using to record the game. Yeah, that's a little better. Let's talk to Hank.
Hey,
Hey, does Betsy Bobbin...
who want? You know,
Who-
if you don't know, then why are you bugging?
The Hank the
name-
Mule
I-
is
Well,
played
well,
by...
Gilbert.
Let me get through all this here. Yeah, again, this is another info dump per Playfirst request. So you had to learn about the whole flowers thing. Usually you would have gotten it through the dialogue trees, but Playfirst wanted you to be able to get it right away from the first dialogue from the first conversation that you have with Hank. Hank is played by Daryl Lathan, one of my regular actors here in New York. He played Theo in Puzzlebots. He played Cecil and Isaac in Blackwell Unbound. He played the Mafia boss in Gemini Rue. He played Claude Erdin in Blackwell Convergence. He is one of my regulars. I like to use him as much as I can. He's a very good actor. He played Hank. He played the Sawhorse as well. He played some other characters. So now you learned about the flowers. And the thing about the flowers, you also learned that Betsy liked Quadling Country and Munchkin Country, and there's a map of Oz which shows the color codes of Oz, and this is from the books as well. So this is pure canon here. It made coming up with puzzles a lot easier. A lot of visual design helped. This helped with the visual design because everything is color coded. So let's go to get some flowers. Oh yeah, we threw that lion going into the store so you knew that the store was open and that you were able to go in there. Odd-looking man who was obviously the Scarecrow, not very subtle.
A man in a white suit. There's some cute... Evening.
Evening, Petra.
This is
Know
supposed to be
me?
Peter
I
Lorre.
hope not, for knowledge kills the sense of wonder and mystery.
This guy was played by a guy named J.S. Gilbert. It's funny. He's the nicest guy in the world. Done so many VO in games, like for decades. If you ever play the old Punch-Out in the arcade and that voice that goes body blow, uppercut, that is J.S. Gilbert, and now he's playing the Scarecrow. He was kind of originally a hint system. You could ask him for a hint, and originally I had him like in every location. He was going to be sitting on these benches, but then we had the notebook. We created the notebook, which was a more detailed hint system, so that kind of became very redundant. So we just kept him in this one location. So anyway, let's go visit Scraps.
And that, as we say, is that.
J.S. Gilbert also played the
I
lion.
didn't. Yeah,
You get...
I'm
La 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 blah blah blah.
my mom. She don't.
Don't let the...
As I've made more games, I've kind of shortened my dialogue, and I think I would have written this a lot tighter if I was going to write it now. Ozma. Funny thing about these Ozma portraits that are all over the game. This was the first concept art for the character done by Wyatt Miles, the character animator, and I dug the concept art so much that I asked him to color it in, and we used it for the portrait all over the game. Scraps. One of my favorite characters from the books.
You look... do I find my...
Right, and I'm supposed to find a button for her.
What are you looking for again?
An emerald button. It's so pretty and shiny. Take a look.
This is another
Bye, Scraps.
casual thing. The casual audience loves their hidden object games. So we threw this in as a way to add a hidden objects mechanic to the game. What was funny is that, I thought of it as being this quick little thing that we threw in that I didn't really think meshed very well. But a lot of the casual players played the game several times to find all the buttons. I couldn't believe it, but they did. So we find the buttons.
Is this the button you're looking for?
No, that's not it. Or do I mean yes? That's it.
Is it?
It is.
Sure.
I love Scraps.
Scrap.
Hello.
So give
I've
her the
got some...
button.
You do? Oh, right here.
What? Oh, that's you. No. These...
So she gives you a piece of concept art. And I think when Playfirst asked me to throw this hidden object mechanic in, I didn't know what the reward would be. Like, what's the point? Like, there has to be a reason to do it, rather than just do the hidden object game for its own sake. Because I come from a hardcore background. Why would I be doing this? But apparently the casual audience loves doing that kind of thing. They wanted more of it. So who knew? This is why I don't make casual games professionally.
Scraps.
Hello there.
So again, I'm just going to skip through stuff. And I'm going to get the flowers that we need to
Tell
get.
me, I'll get the. Oh, you. I'd like that.
It doesn't
Hear you.
Crap, what was it? Do I remember my own game? I think it was blue and red?
Give me a bouquet of blue flowers and red flowers.
What a horrible selection. Or do I mean beautiful?
Thanks.
All right, so I think that's correct. Let's see if I can remember how to play my own game here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm running out of time, so I'm going to end this here. And I'm going to bring the flowers to Betsy
Bye, Scraps.
next time.
Toodaloo!
Toodaloo indeed. Bye-bye, guys.